Alright, so we're back at the shop again, or the unit. Today's plan is to remove the cylinder head from the block and begin masking off certain parts of the block, because after the cylinder head comes off, I'm going to paint the block and I'm going to paint the valve covers. So, not the valve cover, excuse me, the timing covers. The timing cover is two-piece, so it's a bottom piece, top piece. I'm leaving the bottom piece on because to take it off, I would have to take the crank bolt off and do a whole bunch of stuff with the crank, which I'm not going to do. So when the cylinder head comes off, it's going to come off with this timing cover up here. Easy to take off. And then we're going to take the oil, the rest of the oil out of the car because there's oil sitting in this oil filter portion. So I'm going to turn it over, drain the rest of that, plug that, tape it over. And then we should have, you know, good foundation for one, modifying the head, and two, painting the block and timing covers.
Nobody followed me. Don't worry, I watched out.
What do you know about it?
You ran around. Good times, girls. You were special. Big cars, his fancy suits, his haberdashery.
Why didn't you stay home and mind your own business? Don't you see what you did, you fool? You brought him straight to me.
So now I have the 8 bolts that hold on this front timing cover, and this is basically where the distributor sits, and then straight through is a single cam, and that's where the that attaches to the cam. You can't really see, whoa, you can't really see it, but that's where the cam attaches to. Let me give you some more light. Yeah, so that should be able to come off. We're going to take off this valve cover first. I haven't seen the inside of the valve cover yet, so that should be interesting. It's a couple of 10s. I don't really like these like nipple bolts, whatever these shits are called. I don't like those. Those are not fun to look at. I may try and get some nicer ones, but we're going to take the valve cover off, and you see where the valve cover sits right there. So once we take the valve cover off, we should be able to pull this timing cover off and then get to the head bolts that's in here, and that will loosen the cylinder head from the actual block. All right, so the valve cover is off. Now looking here, it's actually not that bad. Usually when it's like really dark inside, it's, you know, ooh, what is that? Indicative of something, you know, something wrong with the engine or something like that. But it looks good. The teeth on the gears. My buddy who knows more about BMWs than me, Thiago, he said if the teeth on your gears are good, because so for M20s and engines like that, they run on a timing belt, I believe, and when it snaps, something usually goes wrong. On M10s, like the one I have down there, which I'll compare them to, they run on chains. So usually the chain is, you know, built to last a long time, and these engines don't put out a lot of horsepower where you can snap the chain. So the chain looks pretty good. It looks like it's been lubed up. It's very light in here. It's not dark. You know, there's a couple deposits here and there where it's really dark. There's nothing too crazy. I did find something in here though. This looks like a seal of some sort, but I don't know where it goes or how it got in there. Either way, oh, that's supposed to be there. I seen a hole. That hole looks kind of ugly though. I'm pretty sure these holes are supposed to be on the side, because they're on every, or maybe they're not. I don't know, they're on the, what's that, the exhaust side. So maybe, who knows. I found this in there, whatever this is. We're gonna see. If I do need a new cylinder head, I know where I can get one from. But yeah, so now we have to take off these 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 head bolts, and that'll disconnect the cylinder head from the block. And then I have to take off this front timing cover and disconnect the crank. What's the crank on the crank cog is a couple tens on here, and that'll loosen that up from the chain and everything like that. I think I would take the chain tensioner out, and then the whole thing can come off.
Wait! I've come to help. Listen to me.
All right, so here we have two cylinder heads. We have the M10 and the M30. The M30 is supposed to be based off of this M10. I'm trying to see if I can see any similarities. Well, first and foremost, the, what do you call that? The oil filler cap is different. But I think maybe it's just the technologies inside is what's similar between them. So, backstory. When I first got here, I was going to build me one of these, slap a turbo on it, and call it a day. I also thought my cylinder head was damaged, so I just went to a pick and pull and pulled one. And this is the one I pulled from the pick and pull. So now, what I want to say is, you see that one, right? You see the gold kind of color in it? This is still silver, right? So I think the car that I pulled this from just had this replaced. Like there's no deposits. It's literally silver still in here. And I'll show you mine in my car. I won't do that because that's a lot of work. But you can compare it to this one here. And it's very similar in terms of, I guess, styling. I don't know. I guess they all look the same. I just found something cool in here, actually. Let's see if I can find it. You see 8-1B35. Compression ratio on this engine is 8-1, and this engine is a B35 3.5. I don't know if this one has it. I don't think so. My flashlights are all dying on me. No, this one doesn't have it. But either way, like this one's hella clean. And when I take out the engine that I'm swapping for this, I'm gonna put this cylinder head on because I'm gonna get work done to both. New cams, stronger rocker arms, things like that. Because this is gonna be twin charged. This is eventually gonna be supercharged. I mean, wow. This is eventually gonna be turbocharged. This is gonna be twin charged. So we have two cylinder heads. We got a lot to work with. But wow, this sucks. Is my battery really dying? So that's the cylinder head off, right? Looks pretty decent. The scoring on the walls doesn't look too crazy. Hella deposits though. This actually looks like an MLS head gasket. I don't know anything about head gaskets, factory, non-factory, so I don't know. It looks decent. Obviously I'm gonna consult someone with more expertise than me, but I'm okay. I think so. So now the masking part, right? So the lighting in here is bad. My light ran out. Harbor Freight. Should have got a Milwaukee. Anyway, I masked off the top of the cylinder. I didn't clean it yet. So what I'm thinking is I, paint the block and then clean off the top of the cylinder, top of the block, sorry, where the cylinder meets. I still need to clean this surface here, that's Scotch Brite. So what I'm gonna do is Scotch Brite and some brake clean, and that should, you know, clean all these surfaces up. But for now, I'm just masking everything off. One, I don't want to eat while I leave because I'm gonna take the cylinder head to get machined and stuff. I don't want dust and everything to fall inside the cylinders. So I have it blocked off right now. Next, we're going to take the water pump off right there, mask that off. And then we still need to clean this. So we're not going to clean it today because I do have brake cleaner, but I want to use Simple Green. We'll see how far we get, but I have the other part of the of the timing cover down there on the floor. So we're going to take that, clean that. This has to stay here to get cleaned. And we're probably going to cover this with some kind of plastic bag or something like that, tape it down so that whenever I paint it, when I paint it, paint won't get in there. What I'm thinking is I paint the timing cover first and then the block, so the overspray on the timing cover won't get on the block, because the block is just, you know, left, right, this side and the other side. This timing cover is in the front, so if I'm spraying on the side, it may get on the timing cover. So I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, but for now we have that blocked off.